Welcome to Golden Vitality. I'm Adam. What if I told you that some of the very vitamins you believe are safeguarding your health, especially if you're over 65, might actually be quietly undermining your well-being? We're about to uncover 4 such culprits, and also 4 you should embrace daily. According to robust research, including findings highlighted in prestigious journals, seniors taking inappropriate supplements can face a significantly higher risk. Some studies suggest up to 40% of premature health decline. That's not fear-mongering. It's based on clinical data. Stay with us because understanding this could genuinely change your health trajectory. And if you're serious about thriving in your golden years, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss out on vital insights like these. One particular vitamin we'll discuss has been linked to issues like brain shrinkage. Another can elevate your risk of stroke, nerve damage, and even heart failure, sometimes even at what are considered normal dosages. And chances are, you might be taking it every single day. You see, after 65, our bodies change. Our liver's metabolism might slow down. Our kidneys may not filter out excesses as efficiently as they once did. Our nerves can become more delicate. When these vitamins accumulate, they can effectively poison your cells and produce symptoms you might just attribute to getting older. But it's often not just age, it's often preventable. In this video, we're going to expose the 4 vitamins you should generally avoid after 65, and then, crucially, the 4 you should consider incorporating daily. And you'll want to stick around until the very end, because the first beneficial vitamin we'll discuss has been connected in a major European study to a remarkable 36% lower risk of death from all causes. Before we dive in, let us know in the comments where you're tuning in from. We love to see our global Golden Vitality family. All right, let's first tackle the vitamins that could be problematic. We'll start with one that sounds innocuous but can silently trigger significant issues over time for older adults. Number 4, vitamin A, specifically in its retinol form. Now, it's true that vitamin A is crucial for sharp vision, a robust immune system, and even healthy skin. No argument there. However, for those of us in the 65-plus demographic, especially if you're taking multivitamins or supplements derived from liver, which is packed with retinol, the story can take a concerning turn. You see, an excess of vitamin A, especially as retinol, doesn't just pass through your system. It's fat-soluble, meaning your body tucks it away in your liver and fatty tissues. As we age, our liver's efficiency in processing and clearing substances can decrease. So instead of being flushed out like water-soluble vitamins, it can accumulate, potentially leading to a toxic overload. Here's what many don't realize. This buildup isn't always dramatic. It can manifest subtly, perhaps persistent dry skin, unexplained dizziness, vision that isn't as crisp as it used to be, or new joint discomfort. It's easy to dismiss these as just part of getting older, but they could be red flags for chronic vitamin A toxicity, especially if your intake from supplements exceeds 2,000 to 3,000 micrograms daily. And the concerns don't stop there. A significant 2022 review in the European Journal of Clinical Nutrition highlighted that excessive vitamin A intake in older adults was associated with a staggering 25% increased risk of atrial fibrillation. That's an irregular heartbeat that dramatically elevates stroke risk, a critical concern after 65. So, if you're over 65 and your supplement label lists retinol or retinol palmitate, it's time for a serious reassessment. Your body does need vitamin A, absolutely. But you can get plenty from whole foods like sweet potatoes, carrots, spinach, and eggs. In these sources, it's often present as beta-carotene, a safer precursor that your body only converts to active vitamin A as needed, virtually eliminating the risk of overdose. Unlike retinol, your system is smart with beta-carotene. It only converts what it requires. If your multivitamin still includes retinol, scrutinize that label. For women, anything over 700 micrograms daily, and for men, over 900 micrograms, can venture into risky territory long-term. The wisest approach: ditch the synthetic retinol and embrace natural food sources. That's your first important caution. Get ready for number 3, which is even more insidious and often mistakenly recommended to seniors without thorough assessment. Number 3. Iron, when taken as a supplement without a diagnosed deficiency. Iron is undeniably essential for life. But for seniors, supplementing with iron when it's not needed can become a slow, silent threat. If you're over 65 and taking an iron supplement just in case, or because you feel a bit tired, this could be causing far more harm than good. Most people associate iron with combating fatigue. Doctors prescribe it for anemia. It's frequently added to senior multivitamins, marketed to help with tiredness or brittle nails. But here's the crucial truth that often gets overlooked after 65. Your body generally stops losing iron at the rate it did in younger years, especially for postmenopausal women and older men. And that unneeded iron doesn't just vanish, it accumulates. Unlike water-soluble nutrients, iron is stored, primarily in your liver, heart, and pancreas. Over time, this excess iron can trigger oxidative stress. This is when unstable molecules begin to damage cells, inflame tissues, and essentially age your organs from the inside out. It also promotes the formation of lipid peroxides, damaging compounds linked to Alzheimer's, cancer, and heart disease. The reality is, very few seniors actually require iron supplementation. Men typically stop losing significant iron after their growth years, and women after menopause. Unless you have a diagnosed iron deficiency confirmed by blood tests, or have experienced blood loss from surgery, ulcers, or a chronic condition, you're likely getting more than enough from your diet. Meats, beans, leafy greens, and even fortified cereals supply iron naturally. When you add a supplement on top of that without a true need, you tip the balance and can initiate long-term harm. The symptoms of iron overload can be easy to miss: joint pain, persistent fatigue, memory problems, or heart palpitations. It's often misdiagnosed as just normal aging. But behind the scenes, that excess iron is potentially damaging your brain, liver, and heart. And unlike low iron, which your doctor can often readily correct, high iron levels take time to reduce, and some damage may already be done. If you're taking a multivitamin containing iron, pause and discuss it with your doctor. Ask for a serum ferritin test and transferrin saturation. These tests will reveal if your iron stores are too high. If they are, you may need to reduce red meat intake and cease all iron supplementation immediately. A far better strategy? Opt for multivitamins specifically labeled iron-free, especially for the senior population. Iron might be beneficial when you're younger and have higher needs, but at 65 and beyond, unnecessary supplementation is like adding fuel to a fire your organs are ill-equipped to handle. Ready for vitamin number 2? This one is incredibly common, often taken daily by well-meaning seniors, and it might be slowly compromising your bones and muscles without you even realizing it. Number 2. Calcium, as a standalone high-dose supplement. Calcium has been a household name for bone health for decades. It's featured in nearly every senior bone health advertisement, doctor's office pamphlet, and on almost every multivitamin label aimed at strong bones. But here's what many people over 65 aren't told. Calcium supplements, especially when taken alone in high doses, can paradoxically increase the risk of heart attacks, strokes, and dangerous arterial calcification. That's not a scare tactic. It's emerging science. Calcium is essential, yes, but where it ends up in your body matters more than just how much you take. When you're young, your bones are like sponges, readily absorbing calcium with the help of hormones and growth factors. But after 65, especially in postmenopausal women and aging men, this system slows down. Bones don't absorb calcium as efficiently. So, what happens to that excess calcium from supplements? It doesn't just disappear. It can get deposited where it doesn't belong. In your soft tissues, your joints, and most dangerously, your arteries. Most seniors aren't told this. They take calcium thinking it's bone insurance, but their body can't direct it properly without help from other nutrients like vitamin D3 and K2. Instead of strengthening bones, it can contribute to hardening arteries. Instead of protecting you from fractures, it might raise your stroke risk. Even worse, high-dose calcium supplements can trigger digestive issues like bloating and constipation, and can actually reduce the absorption of other key minerals like zinc and iron. And if you're taking acid blockers for reflux, which many seniors do, your stomach won't absorb calcium properly anyway. So you could be left with poor digestion, no real benefit to your bones, and more strain on your heart. So, what's the smarter approach? Prioritize getting calcium from food. Leafy greens, sardines with bones, yogurt, almonds, and chia seeds all offer calcium in a safer, more bioavailable form. Your body absorbs and utilizes food-based calcium more efficiently without the high risks of oversupplementation. And if you do need a supplement, ensure it's balanced with vitamin D3 and vitamin K2, which help direct calcium into your bones and away from your arteries. If your multivitamin contains 500 to 1,000 milligrams of calcium and you're already eating a reasonably calcium-rich diet, it's time to rethink your strategy. Your bones need more than just calcium. They need balance, movement, and proper nutritional guidance. And your heart? It needs you to keep calcium where it belongs, not where it can cause harm. Up next is vitamin number 1 on our caution list, arguably the most dangerous of all for seniors when misused. It's commonly recommended, often self-prescribed, and strongly linked to memory decline, muscle loss, and even death when taken inappropriately without testing. Number 1, vitamin B6 in high doses. This one often surprises people. Vitamin B6 is frequently seen as harmless, something you take for energy, nerve support, or to reduce brain fog. It's in countless multivitamins, and doctors sometimes recommend it. But after 65, high doses of vitamin B6 can quietly wreak havoc on your nervous system, diminish muscle strength, and leave you with symptoms that mimic aging, but are actually signs of toxicity. Here's what most people miss. Vitamin B6 is water-soluble, so it seems safe, right? You'd think your body would just flush out any excess. But B6 behaves differently from many other water-soluble vitamins. When taken in large amounts, especially from supplements, it can accumulate in nerve tissue. And once it does, it can become neurotoxic. That means it starts damaging your sensory nerves, leading to symptoms like tingling, numbness, burning feet, balance problems, and even muscle weakness. Many seniors experiencing these symptoms are misdiagnosed with diabetic neuropathy or simply old age, when the real culprit could be high-dose B6. The official upper limit for vitamin B6 is 100 milligrams per day. However, research indicates that even 50 milligrams daily over time can trigger toxicity in older adults. And consider this: many energy boosters, brain pills, and nerve support formulas contain 100% to 250% of the daily limit in a single serving. Stack that on top of your multivitamin and fortified foods, and you could easily be pushing toxic levels without knowing it. And once nerve damage begins, recovery is often slow and incomplete. Seniors are especially vulnerable due to slower metabolism, reduced liver clearance, and pre-existing conditions like diabetes or thyroid imbalance that already put pressure on the nervous system. So, what's safe? You still need vitamin B6, but only in moderation. The daily recommended dietary amount is around 1.5 milligrams for women and 1.7 milligrams for men over 50. You'll get plenty of that from foods like chickpeas, tuna, turkey, bananas, and fortified cereals. Unless you've been diagnosed with a clinical B6 deficiency, confirmed by blood work, you generally do not need to supplement this vitamin in high doses. If your multivitamin or nerve formula contains more than 5 to 10 milligrams of B6 per serving, it's time to make a change. Switch to a senior-specific formula with lower, appropriate levels, or consult your doctor to get your levels tested. When it comes to B6 after 65, more is definitely not better. More might mean permanent nerve damage. That wraps up the 4 potentially dangerous vitamins seniors should be cautious about without specific medical guidance. Now, let's shift to the 4 most essential vitamins you should consider taking daily. After 65, ranked from very important to absolutely critical. Number 4. Magnesium, in an absorbable form. Magnesium is one of the most overlooked yet crucial nutrients in aging, and one of the most important. By the time you're over 65, your body's magnesium stores have likely dropped significantly. That's because as you age, your absorption can decline, your kidneys may excrete more, and many common medications, like diuretics, acid blockers, and blood pressure pills, can strip magnesium from your system even faster. The result? Fatigue, muscle cramps, poor sleep, anxiety, irregular heartbeat, and even insulin resistance. These symptoms often creep in so slowly, they get mistaken for aging. But when magnesium levels are restored, seniors frequently report improved sleep, better balance, fewer cramps, and even sharper thinking. Magnesium plays a critical role in over 300 enzyme systems in the body. It regulates blood pressure, supports nerve and muscle function, and helps stabilize blood sugar. It also keeps your heart rhythm steady and your brain firing properly. In fact, magnesium deficiency has been directly linked to an increased risk of dementia, atrial fibrillation, and even type 2 diabetes. But not all magnesium supplements are created equal. Many common forms, like magnesium oxide, are poorly absorbed and often cause digestive issues. The best options for seniors are more bioavailable forms like magnesium glycinate, magnesium citrate, or magnesium malate. These are gentler on the stomach and better absorbed by an aging gut. The ideal dose for seniors is generally around 250 to 400 milligrams per day, depending on your diet and current health status. You can also boost magnesium through foods like leafy greens, avocados, pumpkin seeds, almonds, and black beans. However, because soil depletion has lowered magnesium content in many foods, supplementation is often necessary, especially if you're on multiple medications. Up next, vitamin number 3 on our must-have list, which powers over 1,000 cellular functions, supports your immune system, and could dramatically lower your risk of cancer and respiratory infections after age 65. But before we continue, if you've been finding this video insightful so far, please hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe and tap the bell icon so you don't miss more evidence-based videos like this. Number 3. Vitamin D3. Vitamin D3 isn't just for bones. It's one of the most vital hormones in your entire body. Yes, technically, it's a hormone. And after 65, your ability to produce it naturally from sunlight drops by more than half. That's because your skin no longer converts sunlight into vitamin D as efficiently. And if you're indoors more often, wearing sunscreen or living in northern latitudes, your blood levels can plummet without you realizing it. The consequences are serious. Low vitamin D3 has been linked to fatigue, bone thinning, muscle weakness, poor immunity, and a higher risk of infection. But what's even more alarming is the connection to chronic disease. In a major 2020 review published in the British Medical Journal, seniors with vitamin D deficiency had a 50% higher risk of respiratory infections and a 30% higher risk of dying from all causes. This includes heart disease, diabetes, and even certain cancers. Vitamin D3 plays a direct role in how your immune system detects and fights threats. It activates immune cells, reduces chronic inflammation, and improves your body's ability to repair damaged tissue. That's why people with higher D3 levels not only tend to get sick less often, but they also recover faster. And in the brain, D3 supports memory, cognitive function, and mood stability. Low levels have been strongly associated with depression and an increased risk of dementia in older adults. But here's the problem. Most seniors are deficient, and most multivitamins don't include enough to make a significant difference. The recommended dose from food and sunlight for general maintenance is 600 to 800 international units, IU, per day. But studies show that most older adults need $1,000 to 2,000 IU daily just to maintain healthy blood levels. If your D3 levels are already low, and many are, especially in winter, you may need even more under a doctor's guidance. The best form to take is cholecalciferol, or D3, not D2, ergocalciferol. D3 is better absorbed, more bioactive, and closer to what your body produces naturally from sunlight. You can take it in liquid, soft gel, or capsule form, and it's best absorbed with food, especially meals that contain some healthy fat. Up next is vitamin number 2 on our essential list, a deeply underrated nutrient that powers your red blood, cells, nerves, and brain. And yet, many seniors are quietly deficient, leading to weakness, memory problems, and even misdiagnosed dementia. Number 2. Vitamin B12. If you're over 65, there's a very real chance you're already low in vitamin D, B12, and don't even know it. The symptoms can be subtle at first: tiredness, poor memory, or a tingling sensation in your hands or feet. But over time, B12 deficiency can become serious. It can mimic dementia, weaken your legs, affect your balance, and it often goes undetected until irreversible damage has already set in. Vitamin B12 is essential for nerve health, red blood cell formation, and brain function. But as we age, our stomach often loses the ability to absorb it effectively from food. This is because older adults tend to produce less stomach acid, which is required to separate B12 from the protein in foods like meat, eggs, or dairy. Add in common medications like antacids or metformin, and the absorption problem gets even worse. The result? You can be eating all the right foods and still be slowly slipping into deficiency. This isn't just about memory either. B12 deficiency can also cause weakness in the legs, an unsteady gait, and falls. That's because your peripheral nerves start misfiring. Many seniors attribute these issues to arthritis or simply getting older, but the truth may be something far simpler and importantly reversible. So how do you fix it? First, stop relying solely on food for B12 once you're over 60. Food-based B12 is often poorly absorbed unless your stomach acid is robust. The better option for most seniors is supplemental B12 in the form of methylcobalamin or cyanocobalamin, though methylcobalamin is often preferred for direct usability. These forms can bypass some of the stomach absorption issues and are more readily utilized. The ideal dose for seniors is typically between 500 micrograms and 1,000 micrograms per day, though some individuals may need more based on lab results. B12 is water-soluble, so your body generally flushes out any excess. You can take it as a sublingual lozenge under the tongue, a small tablet, or even a once-weekly injection if you're severely deficient, as prescribed by your doctor. If you're over 65 and haven't had your B12 levels checked recently, ask your doctor for a test. It could be one of the single most important numbers in your blood work. Because if your B12 is low, everything else in your body has to work harder. And if it's corrected, your brain, muscles, and nerves can function like you're years younger. Coming up next is vitamin number 1, the single most important nutrient for adults over 65. It protects your heart, brain, bones, and immune system, and in one major European study, it was linked to an incredible 36% lower risk of death from all causes. Number 1, omega-3 fatty acids, specifically EPA and DHA. This isn't your typical vitamin, but for people over 65, omega-3 fatty acids, especially EPA, eicosapentaenoic acid, and DHA, docosahexaenoic acid, are as vital as any nutrient on this list. These essential fats have been studied more extensively than nearly any other supplement in existence, and the results are hard to ignore. Omega-3s protect your brain, your heart, your joints, and even your lifespan. Let's start with the science. A massive 2021 study from the European Journal of Clinical Nutrition followed more than 42,000 adults over the age of 60. Those with the highest omega-3 blood levels had a 36% lower risk of death from all causes. That's right. Omega-3s weren't just linked to heart health. They were linked to staying alive longer. Period. Another landmark study in the journal Circulation showed that omega-3 supplementation reduced the risk of fatal heart attacks in seniors by over 45%. These numbers are not small, and the impact on quality of life may be even bigger. Your body needs EPA and DHA to build brain tissue, reduce inflammation, keep blood vessels flexible, and regulate rhythm in the heart. Without enough omega-3s, older adults are more likely to experience memory loss, arrhythmias, joint pain, and accelerated aging in every organ system. Yet, here's the shocking part. Over 68% of Americans over 60 are deficient in omega-3s, simply because they don't eat enough fatty fish or supplement properly. The best food source? Cold water fatty fish like salmon, sardines, and mackerel. But to get the amount your aging body truly needs, food often isn't enough. That's where high-quality fish oil or algae oil supplements come in. Look for one that provides at least 1,000 milligrams of combined EPA and DHA per day. If you have heart issues or chronic inflammation, your doctor might recommend 2,000 milligrams or more under their guidance. Choose a formula that's tested for purity, free of heavy metals, and preferably in triglyceride form for better absorption. Take it with a meal to reduce the chance of any fishy aftertaste. And if you're vegan or allergic to fish, there are excellent algae-based omega-3 supplements that provide DHA and EPA directly. Omega-3s aren't just about preventing heart attacks or strokes. They help you think clearer, move easier, sleep deeper, and age better. They literally form the structure of your brain and help your cells communicate effectively. And when you're over 65, that's not a luxury. It's a necessity. For seniors looking to stay sharp, steady, and strong well into their 70s, 80s, and beyond, omega-3s are the closest thing we have to a nutritional insurance policy. They don't just help you live longer, they help you stay you longer. You've just seen the truth about vitamins after 65. Some can help you live longer, think clearer, and stay strong. But others? They could be slowly draining your strength, fogging your brain, and putting your heart at risk, even when the label says, for seniors. It's not about taking more. It's about taking smarter. You need the right nutrients, in the right form, at the right dose for your age, your body, and your future. That means cutting the toxic extras and finally giving your cells the support they need to keep you alive, mobile, and sharp. So, what's in your medicine cabinet right now? Comment below and tell us which vitamin shocked you the most or what steps you're taking for your golden vitality. Tap the like button if this opened your eyes, and hit subscribe. Here at Golden Vitality, we break down the science that keeps you living stronger, longer. If you have any questions or want to share your own experiences, feel free to leave a comment below. Thanks for watching and stay vibrant.